Well, hello, everybody. I hope everybody is blessed out there. I want to thank Desmond and Dory for putting this on so that we all can connect. And, this is the Empowering of Sierra Leone YouTubers presentation that I want to give because I understand with doing YouTube for over a decade and managing YouTubers that are much bigger than my channels, the complications of what it is to try to be a content creator. And so, everybody's doing well. I hope if I could see you, I would see your smiles. I'm assuming that y'all are out there smiling because what better place to be than to learn how to make some more money, especially on things that you're already doing. My name is Kellen Coleman. I own Coleman Public Relations and Consulting Firm, and I also have a podcast called Diversified Game, where I too get frustrated with YouTube because my listening audience on podcasts is not the same as my YouTube audience. And we kind of know why that is. But YouTube is something about its algorithms. It's what they want to promote, what they want to pitch. A lot of times they want the scandal. They want it set in a certain way. We're going to tap into all of that. But I want to make sure while we have a great connection, if there are any questions, write them down, whether you ask them now, which I'm open to anyone asking questions. And if I'm talking too fast or too slow, let me know. But my contact information is Kellen Cash. That's Cash with a K on every social media platform. My website is www.cprfirm.com or colemanprfirm.com. So if there's any clarification, anybody can have my number. I tell everybody that. So Ms. Dory has my number. Anybody can have it because we have systems to answer questions. I do this professionally, keep in mind, but there are things that we can do to help people. And sometimes we even, find partners and we do business various ways. So it's not all about the money because we find ways to make everything profitable. Everybody in this room right now has told themselves they have some talent to do YouTube. Whether you've started your YouTube or not, you have said, I think I can do this, or I think my brother, my mother can do this. What I like to say about any content creation is you need to monetize your life. So whatever you're doing, if you're going out at night, all of that potentially could be content. Maybe it doesn't mean you're filming all night, but you're taking bits and pieces, or you're interviewing people at the club. You see Drizzlet at an event and you say, hey, I want to interview you, or whomever it is. You might see the president because some of you have different connections. It could be a business owner. You might just say, you know what? I always come here. I bet you they'll tell me their story. That's something personally I like to do because I like to talk to people on how they started, sustained, and succeeded so other people can learn. No matter if they're 14 or 44, they can learn, oh, wow, I can be a business owner too. So think of everything that you're doing when you're having fun, because YouTube should be about having fun and also educating people. And YouTube too should be more than just in English. It should be in Creole. It should be in whatever other languages you know or are learning, because that gets you a niche that maybe everybody's not going after. And I probably go deeper into later, when we go for the bilingual channels, because you always want to be being able to get the biggest audience. And as we know, English is the #1 language on YouTube. So maybe you need to do captions or something. But we'll tap into that as long as we have time. We have a good about 40 minutes to get into this. And so, again, any questions, you guys feel free, stop me anytime. YouTube is something that you can really make a business off of and be full-time with it. But it's not just YouTube. There's a thing called repurpose.io. So if you upload something to YouTube and then you repurpose it on that website that I just said, repurpose.io, and there's others like it, you can take that YouTube content and automatically push it to your Instagram content. You can automatically push it to your Facebook content. You can push it TikTok, wherever else that allows. These things are always changing. But content is the first thing you have to have. So you have to have a clear, powerful message that you say, wait, somebody else wants to learn about this. Sometimes that message is not a positive message. You know, a lot of things happen. We just had a building collapse a month ago. And one of the YouTube channels that I work with, Salone TV, Fine Salone TV, I know they captured that the first day. And it was helping people here in the diaspora learn what was going on in Salone and how they could help. Those things are crucial. The same thing with the soccer games or any other activities that happen. The problem with, Salone is the tourism. People don't know about our tourism. They don't know, and they need to know what are the fun things you can do. What are the things kids can do? Where are the rooms that people can go? That was a big one a few years ago for Salone, the rooms. But I did not see many channels cover what I needed, so I covered it myself. The rooms that have, connecting rooms are 2 family rooms. So when families want to come and they need space, they can go. But what we're talking about is the content that you don't see anybody else talking about, or they haven't done it the way that you've done it. What we do, because I know some people are saying, well, that's all good, but we can't monetize in Salone. So what we do is we help companies for the last decade plus monetize their content. And that means going into partnership with them where Google AdSense might not work in Freetown. It might not work also in a lot of other countries, but we then become the partner where we have to do a 30% revenue split. We are the Google AdSense, and Google allows that as long as you have partners. This is something I noticed when all the artists, I said, how are they making money back in the day, 10 years ago, 12 years ago? How are they making money? And YouTube doesn't even allow them to be part of their partner program. And so we have to take such a percentage, because I know somebody's like, wow, that's high, but we also have to pay tax on that money. So the 30% that we are doing a partnership with is not the 30% we got to eat off, because of the taxes are high here in America, and they're probably about 35% for me, depending on who gets into office. But that's why we do what we do, because that 30% is still better than making nothing and having free content. And there's other ways that we'll get into about how you can monetize your platform, even if you're not in the YouTube program. Monetization workaround, it's a very fine key on your business strategy. You have to look at content creation as a business. YouTube is not your only source of income, and it should never be, because they can cut the program off like that anytime. We have to find alternative ways to make money, and that's what we've done. This is where your brand has partnerships like ours, affiliate marketing, and other things like Patreon, which we also can help with, and there's other programs out there. You have to think about your followers. What and why do they want to support you? What are you giving them that they need from you? It might be tourism. It might be helping them find a business, showing them what the other expats or people who have relocated back to Salone have, got to. I remember when I got my citizenship in Sierra Leone with Miss Dory and about 46 other people, I had somebody from a hotel say, I might need you because I need a citizen to own a hotel. And I just like the way that you do business. And I like the talk that you've talked. And I said, oh, and he let me know, things about the law and how things are that I didn't even know. So you never know where you can become valuable at. But if you do a brand deal or some type of partnership, that is your deal. It's not a one-time thing. I want you to think about business as it's a relationship. You're not just here for one night. It's not a quick fix. It's we're going to do lifetime together. We're going to make a lot of money together, a lot of progress, but we have to first create value. And you have to identify the best brands to work with, that they work with you in negotiating deals and maximize these opportunities. That is also something that we do, because most content creators only have one brand, and it's their usually first business they're doing. So they don't know if they should be getting $5 or $50,000. And I've worked with YouTubers who have had $50,000 worth of offers in their email. And I asked them, I said, why didn't you respond to these people? And she had told me at the time, she's like, I didn't know what to say and I didn't want to sound stupid. And I'm like, well, we're going to have some great months, because they want you, especially for you ladies with the hair and the fashion. The China wants to give money as long as you can get views and your audience wants to buy. That's also why YouTube says they do not let countries like Sierra Leone monetize, because their advertisers aren't selling to customers in those countries. I tell them every year that I get a chance. I think it's kind of, if it's not racist, it's some type of, bias that you guys say that, because a lot of content creators are getting a crossover audience with Americans. So you can't just say that it's only a Sierra Leone audience, even if they're only speaking in Creole, even if they're only speaking in Farsi, because there's other countries that they say, no, we're not tackling that audience. So you have to understand your audience and see who is buying what and how are they buying it. There's so many opportunities that you can do, but you just have to kind of put your head together. And right now we have AI, where ChatGPT is something that you should be using to help you form ideas, help you form scripts, help you form what brands might be interested, because like Dole, they're already in Sierra Leone. Are they looking for our audience? And you have to explore those merchandise and those exclusive content deals for your audience. You do not need 1 million followers to make a living from YouTube. It's nice to have, and the money is very nice when you have over 1 million, but you don't need 1 million followers. You do need to have a strong community of at least 100 or 1,000 of dedicated people who are selling the right product, and you're selling the right product to them. And you can change your whole family's whole life if they need you. And you have to identify that. And we help with that all the time. But it's something that a lot of content creators are just making content. And think about it. You're giving YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, which are the same company, Instagram and Facebook, you're giving them free content if you're not thinking about the business. I don't post anything on these social medias if I can't make some type of business relationship about the restaurant I posted or the place I went to. Why would I give them free promotion? They wouldn't even give you free water. So YouTube isn't the end. It's supposed to be the ladder to other business opportunities. And I want each of you to be able to see YouTube for what it truly is, a stepping stone. Another thing that you can do is collaborate with bigger YouTubers. And they don't have to be in your city or in your country. The internet is so big. You just have to find somebody, if you're into sewing or if you're into cars or being a mechanic, finding other people who talk about what you talk about. There's an author by the name of Seth Godin, Godin, and he's written over 200 books. A handful of them have been bestsellers, and he talks about tribes in one of his books. That's the name of the book, Tribes. He's an old white man with yellow glasses usually. And so you have to find your tribe. He also has a book called The Purple Cow, which if you think you're a little bit different and unique, that book is perfect for you because you've never seen a purple cow. Another key strategy for growth is the collaboration. And you have to look at the fastest ways to build the credibility to expand your audience to work with bigger YouTubers who already have a following. And guess what? We help with that. If you guys go to Authentic Africa and look at Joe's platform, he's worked with one of my favorite YouTubers, African Diaspora News Channel. We have 1.78 million. I'll say it again because my voice cracked just a taste. 1.78 million followers and over 1 billion views. We hope that in our plan is for every content creator that we have on our program gets 1 million views a month, which helps everybody's bottom line. For years, I have offered that to Sierra Leoneans who I have seen or who have been brought to my attention and say, hey, would you like to be a content creator? And Joe is one of those people who has taken on the call to say, I will try this out. And, you know, we pay everybody. And the way we pay them is at a 45%, we give them 45% of what the video makes for the first month. I say that because we do that because, again, if you're not making any money off your YouTube right now, that's big. And that we handle all the editing and the thumbnails. But what I found, it's hard for people to be consistent and it's hard for people to believe in themselves and believe that they can do this. So we don't take on everybody. You have to, you know, be diligent. You have to talk the way that content creator talks because he's talking about Black news, a lot of it being Black trauma globally, whether it's in China, the US, Africa. We're talking about some of our so-called leaders, not in Sierra Leone, but in the other countries who may be bought by the West or by Russia and aren't looking out for the people. So, you know, that's one way of collaborating with bigger people, because at the end of the video, you can say, make sure to follow me on my channel. And we've helped grow channels that had 2,000 subscribers maybe, and now they have 94,000 subscribers. Wangel, who lives in Kenya, but she's an Ethiopian. She has her channel's there. African Tigress, who's a friend of mine and a client. She had about 12.5 maybe subscribers before working with us. Now she should be over 300,000 now. And she at 50,000 became too busy to collaborate with us anymore and took a different direction in her content. She just travels the world now. So I like to give these things not to name drop for my ego, but to let you know, like, I'm giving you real life examples, because online, at least here in America, everybody is talking. Everybody is rich. They're a millionaire. They can levitate. They can do everything except help somebody else and give them some real game. Information is game that they can use. And that's why I call my podcast Diversified Game, because we're giving the game. So we have the connections to make certain things happen. I make no promises to anybody, because first I got to see how you work. I got to see, are you even a person we want to work with? And then our clients also have to see, do they want to work with you? How they want to work with you, and do we have the space? And just because it's not a right now doesn't mean it's a no, but it has to be. We have to have enough editors in our system. And we hope that we can bring on more Sierra Leoneans, because I want YouTube to do a conference in Sierra Leone, but we got to drive the numbers up in the content as well as in the viewership. So we're here to help you connect with other YouTubers who have millions of views as much as we can, guest appearances, co-creating interviews, and really tackling the problems and the fun that, is happening in Sierra Leone. Enhancing your engagement with your audience is key. And I want to emphasize, you need that engagement. You need people commenting, sharing, liking. When they tell you like, share, and subscribe, it's not an ask. Something about the YouTube community, they need to hear that. You need to be live streaming. You need to be doing the stories. You need to be doing the community tabs, the polls, so you can contact directly with your audience. There's people who need you. We have needed people for graphics, and people have, like that, reached out from various countries. And we always are looking at Africa first because we're trying to build business in Africa. And I'll say this as a key: make sure, ask ChatGPT what you should be charging so you can become, if you can edit or do graphics for other people, what you should be charging being in Sierra Leone. One of the problems that we've had in Sierra Leone is people have asked, hey, I need a graphic designer. And Papa Smurf has said, hey, this is the price. And he's charged more than what somebody has charged in America for 4 minutes of a very basic edit. And I paid that $200 and something myself because I agreed to it. And I made the mistake of the conversion because Google, once the money turned over. But I want to make it clear that don't charge what Americans charge if you want to get paid, because you don't need the amounts of the money that Americans need. Charge the going rate for salon, and don't tell anybody, just give me what you want, because they'll try to nickel and dime you and give you $2, $5. Find out what that going rate where you're competitive, that amount of money you can live off. What I say and what I've done is, when I started my business 20 years ago, let one client be able to pay for all of my bills, pay for my house, pay for everything. And then every other client is extra. But when you come in and say, I'll take whatever you want, people will give you whatever you want. And when you come in and you're trying to compete with what someone is in New York, why would I pay someone in Salon the same that I'd pay someone in New York? You know, this isn't, I'm not asking you to build a polymorphic morphic engine or use a hex editor. You know, this isn't hacking. This is something that you can find on Fiverr.com. So be competitive where you can undercut somebody in New York or Florida or even London, but don't try to compete with them in the way where your prices have to be so high. I just wanted to throw that out there because that's the number one thing when I try to do business. People sometimes mess up on that and they get greedy. Going back to your audience, you have to listen to your audience. You have to hear and know who your audience is. YouTube at any day, again, can cut monetization off, but they could also go out of business. So collecting those emails, those phone numbers, you have to have that information yourself in your database, backed up on a server. Now, I want to talk about quality and production. Even having a lavalier mic can make all the difference, a cheap one. You don't have to have the biggest one. Even having, if you don't have the best camera, even having your phone, but you can work with on CapCut. You can work on CapCut and edit. We have some people who are doing full-blown movies that hopefully I'll be working with, some young men doing full-blown movies on CapCut. 241,000 views on one of their movies. And it's a beautiful, I mean, their production is better than anybody that I know in my small circle that does YouTube. Their production is awesome. They're flying. They got the visuals. Their script writing is dope. But you have to have good production. And it will only get better the more money you have. So keep pushing and don't let that stop you from just starting now, though. But a lavalier mic has made the difference in sound. And you don't need high-end equipment. But if you can get high-end equipment, even if you are in the school, your university, and you can use the school's equipment, use it. And then you'll have your gradual upgrades that your audience will notice, and they like to see that difference. And once you're available to do super chats and take different donations, they will, you know, donate more because they see your growth, because they feel like they're growing. Thumbnails, do a thumbnail, even if it's Chat GPT or whatever AI you like. Do thumbnails. Take time to do the right thumbnails, to tag the video, to put your location. That makes a difference. That makes a big difference on the audience and on the algorithm, those little things. It's kind of like when, you know, you have a date and you open the door for her. Fellas, that makes a difference. She sees, oh, he's treating me special. So come to workshops like this to get the guidance from different experts who can prove to you that they are doing something that you want to do. Don't listen to anybody who they're not doing what you want to do. Why listen to them? I don't listen to broke people about how to make more money. I don't listen to unhealthy people how to get healthier. Listen to the experts in your fields. You know, your mother, your father, your aunt, your uncles, they're not going to understand this. This whole social media thing, to a lot of them, is a waste of time. I remember when my mother-in-law, who's from Cameroon, she told me, I just thought you played on the computer all day. Now I live with you, when she lived with us, and she sees how, you know, things work in the busyness of YouTube and content creation and creating a global audience, because that's what I want. I want a global audience of clients. I want all of you to say, hey, Kellen, I emailed you at KC at CPR Firm. I contacted you at +1 925 367 5478, and I need help. I'm at the point where I need help to monetize, because I've gotten what YouTube says you need to get to go to the next level and get monetized. But you know, you have to be able to learn, be able to listen, and be able to work quickly. Earlier, I talked about the bilingual content and maybe putting captions if you're doing all Creole, or if you're not doing all Creole, if you're doing English and you want to throw Creole in, there's some really nice AI now that is translating into different languages. And we are going to be able to have dual YouTube. And I don't want to say too much about it, because some of this isn't open to everybody and it won't make sense. But just know that if you speak another language, that's going to be a plus, and it's going to be a double dip for you. But from the food, the music, the traditions in Sierra Leone, we need to capture that. YouTube, again, it's just the beginning. It's a great platform, but it's not the only platform. Instagram, Facebook, all these places you can monetize, but you got to want to start a business, not just be out there. So Ms. Dory, let me know, because I want to make sure if there are any questions, I can answer them. We have about 15 more minutes.
Okay. We do. I have a question from Abdul Kavia. He has two questions. He says, if your contents are in Creole, can they be monetized? I think he said you're basically double dipping with the Creole, but you can answer that one.
Yes, it can be monetized. They don't care. Your audience just has, it's all about your audience. Is your audience watching? Yeah. YouTube doesn't care about that. The only thing it could impact is, you know, your audience size. That's what I'm trying to say. Because somebody, you know, if you had captions in English, maybe Americans watch, or Sierra Leoneans who don't understand Creole for whatever reason. So yes, it can be. Now, the only other part that it could impact is if advertisers, if you get to the place where you're so big and advertisers say, you know, I only want to be on English platforms, but that gets into the weeds and gets very complicated, and you kind of have to know some things about how YouTube advertisers work, and that's always changing. But the answer is yes, but it could impact, just like your music only being in Creole is only going to have a certain audience, you know, but it just depends on what you do. But I encourage everybody to be able to do both and do a mix.
So even if you would put subtitles, is that the same? Like if you would do the subtitles?
Yeah, the subtitles. Yeah, yeah, the subtitles. And there's AI for all of that. There's, it's not free if you're doing this consistently, but it's also not what it used to be. This thing used to cost thousands of dollars to do for YouTubers, and now it's at a fair price, and they give you samples and free trials to see if it'll work for you.
And his second question was, how can he create a PayPal account?
He might not be able to. I've created PayPal accounts. I've created PayPal accounts for my friends and business partners in Africa because it has to do with your address back in the day. I'm trying to wean all my people off PayPal, but because of the taxes and fees, but you might not be able to at this point. But I always tell people, if not me, if you have a family member that you trust and they'll do what you say in America, as far as look at the mailbox, there's a way that they can do the same thing that we do. The difference is we do this professionally, so we take it very seriously because we want to make more money while you make money. And I've had some people who, they said, oh, I let my aunt do it and she totally just dropped the ball or she stole my money. And there's nothing I can do. There's no way I can prove it. And we also have a business in Sierra Leone called Diallo. So, we want to make sure we keep our name right and tight. So, yeah, you might not be able to. That's up to PayPal, and it has a lot to do with, money laundering and all these other things and where they want to do business.
But to my understanding, like say for instance, if you do, like say Abdul, he's into sports. And so if he can prove to you that his content is worthy enough to garner the amount of followers and views that is required to be able to receive some type of monetization, you are the one that would be able to get that monetization. And then I think you have the ability to do like a direct deposit or wire transfer to Rokel, UBA, or any of the local banks. Am I right?
Correct. We usually, depending on the amounts of money, small amounts of money, we do world remit, or we can directly send it to the bank. Just depends, because some banks charge for that, and the content creator takes the hit on that charge. So sometimes world remit might charge you, charge one of us 99 cents. It's like a money pickup sometimes, depending on how your bank account. But yeah, that's one of the things we're here for. When YouTubers could not monetize because of their location, we can help out with that. We do that for them, and we also can help with strategy as well if they want to listen. They don't have to listen to us, but we can help with that.
Okay, and now I have a question from, I think this is Rodney. What is the main equipment to get when you're making the videos? That's not you. Okay, sorry.
The main equipment, I mean, you just need whatever a camera is. I have Miss Trudy, Wodamaya's wife. If you guys know Wodamaya, Mr. Ghana baby, his wife started on a cell phone. And I don't know if she's still on a cell phone. She probably has a nice GoPro, but a lot of YouTubers started on a cell phone. The African diaspora, Philip Scott, started with a very basic camera in his bathroom. And so you don't have to start where everybody else is at right now, but just get whatever you can afford, because you might have the best equipment out there, so that's where you just really want to start, no matter what. Do not have what they call analysis paralysis, where you're waiting on to get the best equipment, because you'll be waiting on. I've actually heard this real story. One of my YouTube buddies, he's like, I don't have a black shirt. I need a black or white shirt. But African Cinematic Universe, who I was telling you in Sierra Leone, they started with what they have and are editing on their phone through CapCut. And they have 200,000 plus views on one video. So just start.
Okay. The next question is from Rodney. He said, can the repurpose app, do they pay like YouTube? Is it the same criteria? The 1,000 subscribers, 4,000 views within 12 months, or is it the same, or is it a different criteria?
No, yeah, repurpose is just like you paying for any software. It's software, so they don't care what you have. You just need to, try the trial out first with all these AIs, because there's a new one every week that's better than the other one, it seems. But repurpose is great. Opus Clips, OPUS Clips is another great one. They are similar, but I use them for various different things. You just have to kind of play around with these things. Give an hour at least of time to each one, so you can go deep into what and how you would use them. But yeah, you don't have any like subscriber or anything, and they don't pay you. You pay them, but it pays off.
My last question that I have, unless somebody else has a question, this is from Teresa. Can you create content in any place, or do you need like a special place? Do you need a special setting?
You can create anywhere legally, because when we're in certain places in the world, there's certain, like, I like to film casinos when we're filming, because America does not see African casinos, and I like to say I'm the first one to show it for clients. So you can go film anything anywhere as long as it's legal, because I don't want people to be doing something illegal. Always check with the rules, and also look at YouTube policy and know YouTube policy. There's certain people who they don't want you to talk about, like they don't want you negatively talking about the LGBT in a negative way. You can talk about, but don't call them names. They don't want you to call Jewish people names. They are a protected class on YouTube, but you can talk about them however you feel about any of it. But you just have to know not to be name calling, and you shouldn't be cursing on YouTube, because that's frowned upon and that can hurt your monetization. And what names you call people. You should not say killed. You should say unalived or something like that, because those are keywords that will get your content flagged, and if not, kicked off, it'll get it demoted. So you just have to really go through YouTube University, which now it's called Creator Academy. And you have to, if you see a certification in YouTube, you have to get that. So you just, you have to do your homework. So before you ask all of the questions, go do some of that homework and see, oh, wait, let me become a student, just like you would in school. Because this is all free. There's a YouTube channel called Creators Academy now. It used to be you had to read through all this stuff, and they actually had certifications. I have some YouTube certifications, but some of them are so hard and advanced, I haven't met a YouTuber yet who's been able to pass them who hasn't worked for YouTube.
I think that's it, but I do just want to wrap up. So say, for instance, I have a lot of great people, we got a lot of great ideas. So how would we get our content to if we agree that we'll take 70, your company takes 30, what are the criteria that you're looking for? Is it something special? Like, how do we apply or get on with your company? What does that process look like?
You need the 1,000 subscribers, and you need the 4,000 watch hours minimum to even talk about monetization. And then we need to have a conversation of, how consistent are you going to be, what content, what help, what is our position? Because what we're not in that part of the deal, we are not your sponsor. And some content creators think, oh, well, we got this firm, they're going to do everything they do with these other firms, and that is not the case. We charge $6,000 and up a month to start with companies when we are giving our full strategy. Now, you're going to get some game from us, but you're not going to get what we do for our others. We're also not going to buy your equipment 9 out of 10 times, unless I really, really can see how we're going to get our money back. I'm not an uncle just giving money. I don't borrow money. So never ask me to borrow money. I'll say, what job can you do for me? We're not doing any learned helplessness enabling. So you have to have your 4,000 watch hours, your 1,000 subscribers, and be ready to go, because we don't want to waste our time, in doing this, but we're ready when you are.
Does anybody else have any questions for him? I think that's it, Kellen. Thank you for.
You are so. You're welcome. I thank you, Ms. Dory, Desmond, Stafford. Blessings to everybody. Again, everybody, my email, my contact info, Ms. Dory, we'll probably put this online so, everybody can grab it. Y'all be blessed.
Hello, everyone. Join us on an exciting journey with Explore the World Cameroon. London and Sydney go take you explore Cameroon, the heart of Africa. Experience the vibrant culture, nature, and traditions from Yaoundé Market to rainforest adventures. Every page na new discovery. Enjoy the Cameroonian food, music, and wildlife with our explorers. This book na true celebration of Cameroon spirit. Get your copy now. Available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and through your library and bookstores via Ingram's Park. Don't miss this adventure.